To be honest, I work so long as we just, yeah. Yeah, I've got I finished, I saw that email from her, I added it to the file. Good morning. Good morning. Dolly, do you want to say great? Oh, yes. As much as I would love to put that with background. Right, so immediately following team meeting today, we will have lunch that is brought by our team meeting sponsors. And then for those of you that would like to work on neighborhood marketing, Jeff Mills will be back in the training room at 1 to work on this. If you've got your laptop with you, please bring it. If not, please still feel free to join us for this. Again, Jess is going to be going through how to effectively use the tools that you have available to you when you are doing geographic campaigns, promoting your open houses, or leveraging listings to work for lead generation. So it's a great training to attend, 1 to 2. And then if you know agents who are in the process of getting their license, or prospective agents that are in the process of getting their license, or you know people in your life who are interested in getting into real estate, this is just a reminder that we do have a scholarship program that allows for pre-licensing education as well as career counseling. That's the K-SCORE program. Terry Butler is the person who heads that up. But feel free to connect them with me, and I can get them all their applications in and get them connected with Terry and get that going. You have an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of people around you, and to bring the kind of agents that we want to work with into our industry. And so, so please connect them with us so that we can connect them with K-SCORE and with those tools. And then once, pretty much every week, there's 3 out of 4 weeks in the month that we do this. We have a test review night. We host one of those here at our market center, and the next one is going to be tomorrow. So if you know people who are in the process of getting their license, getting ready to take the test, this would be a great thing to invite them to. We prepare for the national exam. Our very own broker will be heading this one up with Carrie, and we go through the national portion of the exam. So that is tomorrow night, 5 to 7 p.m. If you know somebody that should be attending that, please see Lindsay, and let's get them started. And then it is this week. So please, if you have not responded to the email asking for RSVPs for Red Day, we are trying to make sure that we have enough breakfast for those that will be breakfasting, and enough supplies for those that will be supporting at the Boys and Girls Club. Also, I do know that there are some agents that aren't going to be able to participate with our market center with Red Day, but that do honor this Keller Williams tradition and go out and serve in the communities on this day. And so in that survey that I emailed out, there is a spot that if you're not going to be serving with us, if you are going to be doing service in the communities, if you can give us a quick rundown of what you're doing. It's a lot of fun for us to be able to gather this all from the region and be able to share. These are all of the things that happened in Utah as part of Red Day. And so we'd love for your projects to be included in that. So quick reminder of the schedule. We will be doing the breakfast and orientation 8 to 9 a.m. We are asking everyone to wear a red t-shirt. It can be a Keller Williams t-shirt, a past Red Day shirt, or any kind of red shirt. We will have a few extra shirts here. If you don't have red in your closet, we'll have a few here at breakfast that people can borrow. And
Sorry, I'm sorry.
that's okay. And then we will head out to our service projects. That will be 9 to noon. We are serving at the Eccles Club, which is in the Sugar House area, as well as the Millard Club, which is Murray Midvale. If you have tools for lawn work at the Eccles Club, we will be doing yard work, and so if you can bring those, that would be great. Might need to be
The
snow
Eccles Club
shovels
is
right
in
now.
Salt Lake. It's the Salt Lake Club, and they need
They're the ones who need
the
the
yard work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Miller Club, we will be doing interior cleaning and maintenance.
No.
And Shauna is going to bring a bunch of buckets and rags and cleaners, but I think the more the merrier when it comes to cleaners. So if you know cleaners you want to bring with you as well, that would be great. We will be out serving from 9 until noon. And then for those of you that are going to be joining us for the after party fundraiser, that is from 5 to 7 at Topgolf. We do still have one bay. We've got an extra bay because there's always those last minute RSVPs. So if you are still wanting to attend Topgolf, you still can. Please see Jess, see Dolly, let's get you on the list and make sure that we have a slot saved for you.
And this money goes to our KW fund here at the office.
Correct. Do you want to hand Shauna?
Yes,
Oh.
and,
Some of the proceeds from the Topgolf will go to the KW fund for our office for when agents are in need.
Yeah, so all proceeds will go. So the more people we have there, the more funds we're able to receive. All right, so then we have on Friday, there's been a request from several agents for us to do another DISC training. And as we've been working on exploring your value proposition and how you present, deliver on, articulate your value proposition, it seemed like a really good time to look at the different DISC personality types and how might you change how you articulate that value proposition based on the personality type of the client that you're working with. What you say matters, how you say it matters even more. And it's really important that you are speaking to your clients, to the consumers, in a way that they can understand and receive it. And if you are, let's say, a D personality and you like short, sweet bullet points, and you are speaking to an I personality who needs all of the color filled in and needs the stories and needs it to be very fun, there's going to be a disconnect. And so if you're presenting your value as a D personality and you're giving them bullet points of your value, and then you're talking to an I personality who looks up and says, I just don't see the value there, that can be very frustrating. And oftentimes what it's about is not that you haven't put together the right value proposition, not that the value doesn't matter to the consumer, but that you are not communicating that in a way that they can actually receive it and hear it. And so that's what we're going to be focused on in this Lunch and Learn. It is 12 to 1:30 here in the training room. We will briefly go through the DISC personality traits. I know that a lot of you have already done a DISC class, so I don't want to lead into that too heavily. And most of our focus in this Lunch and Learn is going to be, okay, here's how you would adjust this personality or this presentation, depending on the personality type that you're working with. We are going to do lunch for that, so if you can let us know if you're attending, just so that we make sure to have enough. Y'all know I'm like phobic about not having enough food, right? So help me out, okay? And then we are approaching our next session of Ignite. Again, Ignite is the core fundamental training of our real estate business. So during this week, we have sessions from 9 until noon, Monday through Friday, and you're going to go through all of the topics in real estate, including working with buyers, working with sellers, open houses, lead generation, mindset, controlling your schedule, lending, you name it, we're going to cover it. So, so this is a great opportunity for those of you who are new in building your business to start building these fundamentals and building them correctly. It is also a wonderful opportunity for you to brush up on something that maybe hasn't been a focus in your business or an area that you see as a weakness or growth opportunity in your personal skill set. So see the front desk if you'd like to go through the calendar of what is being offered when, so that you can audit the right courses. And then Lindsay is going to be teaching write and receive offers. So this will be our contracts training for the month. So if you're wanting to work on contracts, the 16th from 10 to 11 a.m. as part of Ignite is the time to do that. And again, you do not have to attend all of Ignite to attend any of those sessions.
But to be clear, on that day, it's 9 to 12. I'm just teaching
Yeah.
10 to 11, so it does go.
Yes, so if there's a full day of sessions, you could stay for all of the day, you could come in, audit just Lindsay's class. Whatever's going to be more appropriate for you and where your business is. Alan Matheson is going to be our team meeting presenter next week. This is going to be the end of our Know Your Neighborhoods series. So we've brought in several mayors, council members, got the head of PBC Utah, and then we're wrapping it up with Alan Matheson. Utah Business did name Alan Matheson as CEO of the year this year. He's also the executive director of the Point project in Draper. So looking forward to wrapping up the series with Mr. Matheson. Be here, be early, be ready to learn. And then also that day, it is the Utah Real Estate Expo. This is an opportunity for you to connect with different vendors. And some of these are going to be your traditional, what you think of as vendors for real estate that maybe we've had present at team meeting or that are part of our preferred vendor program. But my understanding is there's also like great branding vendors that are going to be there, marketing services, cleaning services, really just kind of across the gamut. One of the values that we do bring to our clients is our ability to connect them with excellent vendors. And it's also a great way, having those relationships is an important way of being able to run a successful business for yourself. So this is the day of team meeting, and with Alan Matheson being here, I would definitely suggest being in the room for team meetings. So if it were me, I would be here for team meeting, and then I would grab my lunch to go and head out to the vendor expo immediately following team meeting. You also could, they are opening at 10, so you could in theory get through the expo first and then come to team meeting. I just know myself when I tend to linger, so I'd rather have it at the end so that I don't risk missing it. And really quickly, if you do know any vendors that would want to participate in this, I believe they're still taking applications until the 8th, so that's tomorrow. Connect with Ashley Lindsay, our ALC preferred vendor chair, and she can get you that information. It's a great way to bring value to the relationships in your life with your vendors. Then, May 14th. May 14th, we have agent headshots. So make sure that you have set up an appointment with Nick if you would like to get your headshots done. We did have one situation come up. So when you set your appointment, you're going to get a calendar notification. Check the how that notification is set up. We had an agent who received a notification, but it was Eastern time, and it created some confusion on their schedule. So just double check that, make sure that you're clear on the time that you have scheduled. Nick does a great job and takes photos that I don't hate, and I think that that's about as glowing of a recommendation as you can have. The 15th, we have Creating Defining Moments. This is the next Home Hub training being presented by Kimber Walton. And this is going to be focused on creating those moments that surprise and delight through the transaction. As we've talked about, if you have a surprise and delight campaign and you are not getting referrals and repeat business from the clients that you have been using this campaign with, it is likely not as delightful as you think that it is. And so Kimber is going to help you make sure that it is delightful and that it actually has the return. And then same day, 3 to 4 p.m. back here at our market center is the Path to Tapping Mastermind. So again, this mastermind is designed for agents that are working on reaching that milestone and capping for the first time. Capping is a core part of Keller Williams culture. It's part of what makes being part of this brokerage so special. And it's really a movement that we are looking forward to celebrating. So, Eladio, anything you want to say on capping or just be there?
They finally nailed down the time to show up. It's a good time today.
we finally nailed down a time, please show up, this is a good time and day. All right, so 3 to 4 p.m., this is gonna be Wednesday the 15th, it's the third Wednesday? Yeah, so always the third Wednesday, so this is something you can plan on and predict. Be there, make money. Hang out with Lottie and Shauna, I mean, I really can't think of much that's better than that, except following that up by having amazing pastries baked by our very own Jordan McQueen, and hanging out with our ALC members and other agents. So, quick reminder, Confection and Connection is designed for us to have a day every month that agents that are new to Keller Williams can plan on being there, meeting ALC members, meeting other agents. It is also a day that we would love for all of our agents to be there. So you are all welcome. You do not have to be new. If you have been to the last 3 Confections and Connections, yes, you are welcome to come again. We would love for you to. You can give Jordan feedback about which of the pastries is best. The cake this last time was pretty killer, but the turnovers are still my favorite. And then we are starting back up with our Value Squared workshop. So for those of you that attended the 4CE Value Squared that was presented by Gary Keller and some of the KWRI executive management team, this is designed to be the workshop that allows you to take the learning that we had in that CE course and actually implement it into your business. So last month we focused on defining and delivering value to sellers. This month we're going to be focused on how you are defining, delivering, and articulating that value to buyers. Both are very important for a lot of reasons that are pretty obvious, I think. Focusing on how sharp our skills are with defining and delivering value to buyers is more critical than ever in this market. And so the listing presentation, I feel like a lot of our more seasoned agents are pretty dialed in on that. There was maybe a little bit of tweaking, but I hallucinate that we have more work to do when it comes to how we are demonstrating our value to buyers. And I hallucinate that where we have been working in a market that, while I know that you are all doing the right thing and not saying that you work for free and talking about the fact that the compensation is the buyer responsibility, even if the third party is going to cover it, I know you've been doing that. And I know that that conversation has not been as present in our consultations, and it's been a little bit easier for the buyers to look at it and go, okay, most likely the seller's going to cover it, no big deal. When you are paying for something, it is really important that you see the value in it. And where you are going to be getting buyer broker agreements signed earlier in the process than previously, it's going to be important that you are good at articulating the value. Very vulnerably, like that for me is the growth as an agent. Because I have leaned into, historically through my career, I have leaned into working with a client for a week, 2 weeks, having them have the opportunity to see what it is like working with me before we enter that agreement. And I've told them that up front in our consultation. This is the document that you're going to sign should we choose to work together. I don't like to tell you what it is I do. I'd like you to experience it. So let's work together for a couple of weeks, and then we're going to revisit this conversation. And if it makes sense for us to work together, then you can sign it. That's been successful for me for 17 years. And now I am looking at a shift on that to where I have to be better in my skills in articulating what that value is and having them experience that in the consultation such that they are willing and excited to sign that buyer broker agreement before we ever go see a property or before they start working. So I like to think I am not the only one that is working through some of that skill development and adjustment. So come work on that together. Again, this is going to be May 16th is our first buyers workshop. We will do that the 16th, and then the 23rd is the next Thursday. And then the last Thursday of the month will be the workshop that we ask that it remain only KW Utah Realtors agents so that we can have an open conversation about compensation, bundling and unbundling compensation for buyers, and be able to talk about actual numbers and actual percentages, which in order to stay compliant, we just need to keep that conversation. But the first 2 workshops you're welcome to invite friends to, and and we love having guests from outside of Keller Williams be a part of that as well. Tony Hellman did ask us to let you all know that the Red Cross is doing a blood drive. This is the location at 6616 South 9th East, so they're our neighbors just around the corner. This is going to be Tuesday, the 21st from noon until 6. So come to team meeting, then have lunch. Your blood sugar will be great. You'll be hydrated, and then go give blood. And then our golf tournament is next month. Hopefully it does not snow. Hopefully, I can't even start talking about it, but hopefully we're going to have gorgeous, brilliant, amazing weather like we did last year. If you are planning on putting together a foursome for this, please let us know, because we just would feel better if we knew how many people we were going to have playing in the tournament. I know there are several of you who have been working on this and mentioned to me that you have groups that are going to be coming. And so if we can have a heads up, that'd be great. And then if you have things that you'd be willing to donate for prizes for the raffle, please see Sherry. And the raffles make this a lot of fun and also help make this the fundraising effort that it is. If you are wanting to play but do not have a full team, let Adali know, and we are keeping a list of solo players and then adding them to teams where they need to be or putting together teams. So one way or another, we would love for all of you to participate. Remember, this is a great opportunity to reach out to clients, friends, your vendor partners, and get anybody in your life who loves golf or loves riding around in a golf cart and being in the sunshine involved. And last year, this was such a phenomenal fundraising for RKW Mid-Valley Cares, which is our charitable arm. And I know that this year it's going to be even better. And then we are coming up on our second quarter client appreciation event. This is going to be our Splash Summit. And if you can have like the mic, we can get a couple of things to say on this.
Right now?
Okay.
Okay, so Lisa Cacavella sent out an email last night. If you didn't get it, I would see the front desk just to make sure that we have your contact info that Lisa does. But the main thing is we got a smart plan set up and created for you. You can start it whenever you want, but as far as timing goes, the best and last day or whatever to start it, where you don't have to change anything, is May 16th. And so if you do need help getting that set up, you can go in and do that. What else did you want me to share?
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color, well, red and black.
All right, who has coming soon listing? Got Lori. Start in the back and maybe move our way forward. Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask. If you have a coming soon listing and you are sitting behind the garage door, please raise your hand after Lori finishes so that Adali can just move forward with the mic and she's not having to run back and forth. All right? Okay, Lori, go.
Okay, I have a fabulous house, R&R Ranch in Erdip, Utah. It's the only place that you can get 5 acres and a brand new house in Erdip, and it has tons of outbuildings, a chicken coop, horse corrals. The house was built in 2021, so it's a fabulous house. And even after that, they put in a commercial stove range. So it's an amazing house. We'll be listed at $1,250,000. We're hitting the market on May 15th. But if you have anybody that wants like 5 acres of land, this is the place to go. And you guys, Tooele is easier to get to than Herman. I'm just saying, it's all freeway. It's easy to get out there. So for professionals, if they want that land, they want a ranch, then this is the place to be.
All right. How big is the chicken coop? How big is the chicken coop? Do you know, Lori?
Okay. I thought I had a picture of the chicken coop, but in her chicken coop, I have a chicken coop. Well, Todd has a chicken coop, but in her chicken coop, she has pictures of all of her chickens with their names on it. It's the cutest thing. No, it's seriously. And it's a nice chicken coop. If you know anything about chickens, like you cannot bring new chickens into the coop. There's literally a pecking order. So she also has a chicken coop hospital that she puts the new chickens in because you can't bring them in with little chickens. So anyway, it's amazing. And then they have this big storage container as well. It's an amazing property. So I'll do a big, not a grand opening house, but we're gonna do video and lifestyle video on it, so.
Lori, I humbly request that we have a video or photos for, of the chicken coop. I mean, the house I'm sure is great, but if you can get some chicken coop, footage, that would be great. All right, Matt in the back. Yeah, yeah. Main level and all one level living, that definitely seems like there's a good market for that. Okay, anyone else behind the garage door? Okay, now let's go to those in front. I know Holly had one.
Karen Hansen have a new listing that will be live tomorrow. It's a townhome in Eagle Mountain, it's in Silver Lake subdivision, and it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It'll be listed at 400. It's really one owner, very clean, very low rent.
Right, well, this side, going once, going twice. All right, no one's getting harassed this week because we were back to double digits for the listing. Congratulations. Congratulations to Joe Reardon with 2 listings, Gary Sundwall, Dana Conway, Mike Hessoff with 4 listings despite being out of the country. Brooke Skinner, me, Jordan McQueen with 2 listings, and Ruben Gomez. Congratulations, well done. All right, and then just a reminder that we did win Best of State again. So how many years is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6 of the last 7 years, and let's not talk about the 1 year. There is the marketing material available. Please make sure that you are promoting this. Again, this is your award. This is something that you have accomplished. And I want you to get the very most bang for your buck as far as the branding and the proof of success that this gives you with your database and your clientele. So even if you are a brand new agent sitting in this room and have never sold a house, this is still your award and helps you to break into being the agent of choice for people in your life. So use it. We've got the instructions on how to get that marketing material on the slides, or you can definitely see Jess if you run into any issues. And then we have Sawyer for our marketing minute.
Thank you. And I'll kind of skip fast a little bit to kind of what Robin was saying. So I'm Sawyer with the Home Hub. If you haven't met me, I've met most of you. I say it every time, but every time there's new faces. We're going to start doing a little marketing minute just so we can show you guys how we're helping you tap into all of the actual marketing resources after you attend, say, a class or there's something that's important that needs to be talked about. Our first thing is going to be about marketing listings. Who here has a set marketing package that they do for every one of their listings? Okay, can we have some comments? Can we open this up?
Yeah.
What changes? Why do we not have a set marketing package per listing? Or are people scared of raising them?
No, they can talk.
You can talk. Okay, well, maybe this is something that we can implement. So one of our things with the Home Hub is we want to make sure that you guys have the leverage piece, right? On top of the listing, there's the contract negotiation, there's working with your clients, there's managing open houses and showings. We want you to be able to just have the leverage piece to market your listings and have something that is set that you can deliver to your clients to, again, show your value, right? It's very easy to see when you're holding an open house, like that's valuable. They know how many showings are happening, but there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes and on social media and posting on the MLS for all of your listings. And we want to make sure that you can just go to one place and say, hey, here's all of the things that I need for my social media posts, my flyers, listing landing pages, all of these things that you don't have to think about, but can look very congruent throughout every listing that you have. Who has a Home Hub V2 account? Okay, there's a few more hands. So a lot of our new tools are going to start living on Home Hub version 2 so that you can access these easily. we've really tried to work on making it so that there's for every tier. So if there's, hey, I'm an agent, I'm a solo agent, and I don't want to pay for something, but I still need my marketing pieces, there's going to be the DIY section. Then there's the done for you section where you can pay Kimber or someone on our team to help you just execute on those pieces and throw your images, your headshot into the pieces that are already created. And then there's the actual like pro account, so that we take all of this and do extra and personalized branding to your flyers, to all the social media posts, and we create a listing landing page. Does anyone know Annie Cannon of South Valley? So she is like one of the top luxury producers. She works in every listing that she has. All she has to do is she comes in here, submits her MLS number, and we create all of her marketing pieces for her listings. So same thing, she has a lot of listings right now. They're all luxury. And so for her, it's really important to like showcase that she is a luxury agent, so that she can have really consistent branding. So if you scan that QR code, that's an example of one of the listing landing pages that we can create for you. But really, again, the main part is the leverage for you, so you guys can know that you're getting good, high-quality listing content, and then you can actually focus on the things that are going to close the deal, the contract negotiation, getting the title, getting it funded, and all the good stuff. Any questions on that? Okay. Here's where you can create your V2 account if you haven't already. So KW Home Hub Agent, it'll have instructions if you haven't created your account, and it shouldn't need approval. As long as you're a KW agent, it'll let you in. And then lastly, real quick, is we wanted to, like Robin was just saying, so as we've done like Value Squared and KW continues to help push that, we want to provide you guys the resources, because it's one thing to obviously talk about it and attend the class, and then you go and take this to your clients. We also want to provide you guys resources that you can take to your clients that match the stuff that you're learning about. And so this is some things that Kimber had recently created, the value of a buyer's agent. So this is going to be on Home Hub V2, where you can go in, plug your headshot in. It's an editable Canva template. So if you're like, if you want to change a few words around or the structure of it, it's there. We also have a getting to know you questionnaire, right? Like those little things that we want to help you be able to execute and provide your value to your clients in an easier way. So all of that can be found on Home Hub version 2. And then same thing, as we go to these classes, you're going to start seeing us point you to the new Home Hub, because we're going to have some of these resources. As you attend the class, you'll be able to get the resource at the class. So we're really excited about some of those developments. So that's all I have. Thank you so much for coming.
All right, and then title moment.
All right, good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jake Wood. I'm the sales manager for Real Advantage Title, and I got Stephanie with me today. Stephanie's our branch manager and lead escrow at our Union Park office just across the street. Is that not on?
They're open. Just wanted to get that to you.
So each quarter, our team kind of has a new focus. This quarter is on social media. Remember last month, we provided some interesting tips that, hopefully kind of can help you with your social media efforts. We also had our talented Liz Adams teach a class last month on social media. So no matter what your skill set or ability is, we're offering kind of a one-on-one audit to sit down with you to help optimize your current efforts on social media. This pretty much aligns with a class Kimber was doing recently on the Glow Up series. So it's pretty much the same thing, sitting down with you and making sure everything you're doing is optimized. We have a great checklist tool that we can go down and just make sure all the boxes are checked for you. So if you're just looking for like a good baseline to start, if you want to sit down just to learn how to create a reel, or if you want to discuss ways to use our farming tool to farm an area and use social media to promote it, please come schedule a time with me after the meeting, and we'll make sure to get you what you need. And then I'm going to turn it over to Steph for a title tip and talk about our classes tomorrow.
I am Stephanie Ferguson, escrow officer over at our Union Park office over here. We're doing our Real Talk with Real Advantage series, and we've been having great success with it. Like Jake said, we had our social media class, and it was really, really well attended. Tomorrow, we are having a class that John Lish, he is our VP and legal counsel. He is hosting and talking about agents setting up LLCs, whether you should be a partnership, an S corp. So kind of helping you with your business and knowing the correct way to set all of that up. So that's tomorrow from 11 to 12 over at Building 7 over there in Union Park. So it'll be a really, really good class, really good information. So we hope to see some of you there. Yes, and I am going to talk about, I feel like every time I come here, I talk about something depressing. I'm sorry, but, and not the title's depressing, we're loads of fun, but I keep talking about the 3Ds. We keep having, it's just coming up, and it's death, debt, and divorce. And we talked about divorce last time and how pending divorces still need to be handled. I'm going to talk about death. Unfortunately, it happens, and it's happening quite a bit. And so if you're dealing with a client and you're not sure, it's always really a good idea if you're working with listings to get a listing PR before your listing ever goes live. That way we can look who's on title, see who needs to sign, see if they are alive and well. So many times we hear from our clients, hear from the agents, and they're like, oh, they're in a trust. And they're not in their trust. And we recently had a circumstance where we started a contract and their health declined very rapidly. And unfortunately, 4 days before closing, they passed away. So we were able to, go through the process, get a probate done and get the closing done. It only extended a week. So that was pretty incredible to work through that. But we have to work together as a team. And it's just really important to know who's on title and if they are alive and well and able to sign. You cannot use a power of attorney. I get this question quite a bit. You cannot use a power of attorney if they are no longer alive. You can use a trust works because you have successor trustees, but you cannot use a power of attorney if they are no longer alive and well. So we have that question. I'm like, we have a POA, we're good, we're ready to close. And it doesn't work for our circumstance. So just always good to know who the clients are, who should be signing the contract to make sure, that you have a valid contract. We did have to go back and get the personal rep to sign that contract to make it, a valid contract. So just always some good information. So if you ever have any questions, we can at least look on the county records, or like I suggest, always pull a listing report. Even if something doesn't happen, it's always good to know what you have on title to know, for the sale to complete. Thank you. Next thing.
All right, and then if you can bring up our team meeting sponsors, I'm going to just skip ahead to that slide. Okay. Today's team meeting sponsor is Game Day Men's Health. If you are not familiar with Game Day, they are our new neighbors and stopped by when they first got settled and asked when it would be a good time to come and introduce themselves to all of you. And we said we would love to have you as long as you bring lunch. And they were wonderful and happy to be here. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Hi guys, I'm Trudy with Game Day Men's Health. We're literally straight across the way. You can see our clinic in those windows right there.
Yeah, you want to hold it pretty close, but yeah.
So you might be wondering, like, real estate testosterone clinic, why? Real estate agents, in my mind, like to look and feel their best, and that's our goal. We are a men's hormone clinic, so we treat low testosterone. Our goal is to not make you like roided out of your mind. The goal is to help you feel your best, increase your energy levels, sleep, all the things. So we do free testosterone testing. So you come into our clinic, we have a lab on site, get your results within 15 to 20 minutes. You'll sit down with our practitioner and then she'll come up with a game plan moving forward. We also do weight loss treatments for male and female, peptide injections, vitamin injections. So just all around, we're a health and wellness clinic, free testosterone checks all the time. So we would love to have you guys come in, wives, send your husbands, boyfriends, partners. We would just love to have you guys all in there. So
I can say, so not as a man, but I had my testosterone levels checked and they were extremely low. I did go through testosterone treatment and was shocked at the difference that it made in how I felt. My sleep was the biggest one that it impacted. My energy levels, getting through a workout and actually being able to to improve my performance to
Like
that.
the
I-
recovery time.
Yeah.
Keeping muscle mass on, it really is just all around, helps you feel so much better.
I was not writing out.
No,
there's
you don't,
Roy
you
Ray.
won't, but you won't, so that's not what we do.
But just going on, this is so weird, on the microphone. I don't think I've actually held the microphone for a really long time. But going along with that, a lot of people will say, well, I don't notice anything. I think I'm fine. I don't need to get tested. I haven't really seen, these side effects. I haven't really noticed any type of mood swings or, I just don't sleep. That's just what life is. Once I hit 30, I just don't sleep. That's a part of aging. But your body gets used to whatever you're at. So if you have low testosterone or if you're not sleeping, your body will try to get used to it the best it can. And we have people that come in that go, okay, well, I haven't really noticed anything, but I'm going to get started because I'm a little bit low. And then they finally realize what it's like to live healthy, to have higher levels, to have normal levels. And it makes a world of difference. Like, it's amazing to see the difference just in a couple of weeks from our patients. So definitely come over. Like I said, it's a walk. You don't have excuses anymore. It's right around, like, it's literally right there, and it takes like 45 minutes, so.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being here.
So we'll be here, some schedule appointments, if you're wanting to come in, we'll just hang out for a minute, get pizza, there's lots of pizza from the pie.
Very nice. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, and then Lori, did you want to introduce our presenter today is going to be joining us via Zoom. So Lori, if you can introduce him, and then Jess, if you can make sure we're set up for him to present.
Rod, are you there?
Hi, I am. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
I'll do a little intro and then let you, this is Lori, by the way, and then let you, talk about, EDC Utah and everything that's going on with that. So Scott Cuthbertson, and I hope I say your name right, it's a tongue twister. He
Yeah.
was previously COO of The Point, which we all know is Utah's landmark down, where the prison used to be, and Scott, for point of reference, Alan Matheson is coming to speak to us next week to talk a little bit about The Point. Scott also worked as a consultant for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and working for them, he had the opportunity to advise some of the world's leading firms, including Fortune 5 tech giants, institutional investors, and developers, working across a variety, working across a variety of projects. He is currently the president and CEO of EDC Utah. I've worked with EDC Utah for many years, off and on, and it's amazing to see the work that goes into bringing projects and companies to Utah. There's a lot behind the scenes that goes on that we don't know about, but it's vital to our economic prosperity that we have this team at EDC Utah that bring those projects in. When you're working with them, it's always fun because there's always a code name, because they can't really let the public know if the company's going to move their headquarters, out of one state into another. So there's always fun code names with those. But I'll turn the time over to Scott and let him talk to you a little bit about what's going on in the state of Utah.
Okay, thank you for that kind introduction. Hopefully you all can hear me okay. It's a little faint on my end. But can someone give me a thumbs up or let me know if you can hear me okay? Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Good to be with you all this morning. I went back and forth on which presentation I was actually going to present. We have a couple that I think would be of interest to you, and landed on giving you the presentation that we make to companies that are looking at investing in Utah, starting a business here, relocating a business, or expanding within the state. And then I would actually like to talk a little bit at the end about the other presentation, which is really around why it's so important to continue promoting job creation in the state, while at the same time we're bursting at the seams, right, with all the population growth. And so I want to touch a little bit on that at the end. But please interject as I go along if you have questions, but we'll also leave some time at the end. So let me start by just talking a little bit about who we are at EDC Utah. And first, going into a little bit on our vision, why we exist and what we do. And our vision is to create a resilient economy, prosperous economy for Utahns for generations to come. And how do we do that? We do it through creating or helping to create quality jobs and attracting strategic economic opportunities and investment into the state. And so what does that part mean? That's the Olympics, that's large federal grants, that's also Major League Baseball and professional sports. So those things that help really catalyze our economy. But first and foremost, we help to promote job creation. And that is through both corporate recruitment and expansion projects, but also Main Street development with our members across the state. Now, we actually have about 250, we call them investors, members within the organization. 50 of those are public sector, counties and cities across the state, as well as the state as an investor, and then 200 private sector entities. And those range from the large utilities, Rocky Mountain Power, Dominion Energy, Zions Bank, Rio Tinto, large manufacturing industries, but also developers and on down to service providers such as real estate organizations, brokerages, and others. So what we do is really attract those quality jobs, and we do that through project management, end to end. If a company is looking at where they want to headquarter their office or expand, and they reach out to us to look at why they should come to Utah. We help them from start to finish, connect them to the right service providers, provide them economic research, and make the business case for why Utah is a great place to be. And we help to navigate them through the state's incentives process. As I mentioned, we do Main Street development. We work with local communities on a variety of services, from helping them to create economic growth strategies to attracting grants and so forth. We do economic research, in-house team that does that, and we host a number of events. We also have a foundation that we've done some initiatives through and that we're looking at spinning up again to really launch some opportunities in areas that 501c3 dollars can support, whether that's rural disadvantaged community type of work or looking at placemaking on projects throughout the state. So that's an overview of our services. Let's talk a little bit about Utah. And I'm sure that you've got your fingertips on good economic data, but let me kind of share with you how we present this. And first of all, it's always helpful to kind of orient people to Utah, and especially the economic hub of the state, which is along the Wasatch Front. People traditionally think of Utah, they think of Salt Lake, and they're not really that familiar with the rest of the Wasatch Front, which is really the epicenter for economic activity. Covers 75% of our population, has the largest universities, state government, our transportation assets, our cultural assets. So we like to orient them to what the Wasatch Front is. And when you look at it in terms of a labor pool or an area for economic activity, it's comparable to other major cities like Orlando, Charlotte, Cleveland, Sacramento. So that's how we like to market ourselves, and why we, I think, punch above our weight in terms of our accolades, I guess, economically. In terms of our growth, in terms of our economic output. We're one of the fastest growing states in the country. That's not news to you all. What might be interesting to hear is that 62% of our growth came from net in-migration last year, which was a change in what it had been for decades before that, from natural-born increase until this past year. We're expected to double the population by 2065 as a state. We're the youngest state at 32 years of age, median average, versus 39 years across the country. And if you look at our job growth, our unemployment, our labor force participation, they're all stellar. We're about to be a state of 3.4 million people. If you look back in the 1980s, we were the 36th largest state, and we had largely a one-dimensional economy. It was, mining and extraction, oil and gas based industry. We had a brain drain that was occurring. And you look at where we are today, it's really remarkable that we're now the 5th most diverse economy. We're the fastest growing state. We have sort of the inverse challenge to manage now of all this in-migration. And that came about through really sound policy. It came about from intentional economic growth, purposely going out and recruiting great companies and making it the best place for business, investing in education, et cetera. So we find ourselves in a really different environment today. Speaking of education, we're really known for being a highly educated workforce that has a global mindset. We speak 120 languages. 1 in 3 members of the workforce in Utah speaks a second language. We have great academic institutions and an industrious entrepreneurial people. So that's all very attractive to folks who are wanting to do business somewhere. We're also really well positioned geographically. It just so happens that we have this access to the large West Coast markets. We also have great infrastructure. So the interstate system going in all directions, great rail infrastructure, the $4 billion investment recently made into our airport. You're a day's drive to the ports on the West Coast. So this really bolsters our manufacturing and logistics industries as well as other industries. And we have international flights, and we keep adding those. Our wages are lower than average, which is attractive to employers. Our power and electricity, gas costs are very affordable, some of the best in the country. Our tax policy is consistent, very strong. Our real estate costs, as you know, have gone up, but we're still more competitive than our coastal markets that we compete against. I talked about being the 5th most diverse economy in the country. That bodes very well, helps us weather the downturns. We have really robust industries across aerospace and defense, obviously technology and Silicon Slopes, life science we're a leader in, and really just scratching the surface on the potential we have in the life science industry. Financial services, we're on the map. And then in others as well, advanced manufacturing, we see a lot of great manufacturing. In fact, I saw a report months back saying we're the 5th most attractive manufacturing market in the country and more. So really set of dynamic industries. We recently found out that we also are very well positioned as being able to sort of being a place where we don't have a lot of natural disasters. Although I know the big one is looming in terms of earthquakes, but we are rated as a very solid state if you're in those sort of critical industries, and you need to be in a place that isn't prone to natural disasters. Come to Utah. We have generational opportunities here that we need to talk about. You're hearing more about the point from Alan at another time, but that's a generational opportunity. I'll let him speak to that more. The Utah Inland Port, what was previously thought of as more of a sort of a logistics hub and the Northwest Quadrant in Salt Lake that would kind of take product in from the coast, and you'd have a customs sort of presence here, has really changed gears completely to being more of an economic development vehicle that is being established across the state. So not just at the Northwest Quadrant, but they have, I think, 10 to 12 sort of regional nodes now. And the way that the port works, think of it as kind of an office park on steroids, but geared towards logistics, manufacturing type of companies that can come in and get a really advantageous tax increment opportunity by locating in these sort of designated zones. There's no customs presence. You actually don't even have to be a logistics industry or have rail, but that's kind of how they're positioned, is to take advantage of the logistics infrastructure and to bring in companies that are going to help create jobs in these rural communities largely. Another huge opportunity is Hill Air Force Base. You might have heard Northrop Grumman just announced thousands of more jobs they're going to be creating around Hill. that ecosystem alone creates $9 billion of impact to GDP annually for Utah. So that's a huge presence that we have there. Living in Utah, great place to live, as you all know. We have high-performing cities. We're the #1 state for social mobility. We are one of the most generous in terms of giving, volunteering, and more. We also are a great place to recreate. I like to joke, not joke, it's the truth. I like to say that we deliver on the promise that Denver makes, but we actually are a great place to live, work, and play. And you can be in the mountains in 25 minutes from the airport or downtown. Great hiking trails, skiing, etc. And we're also becoming more diverse, and this is important. I think that perception lags reality. We now, have a minority population of 1 in 4 Utahns, whereas it was 1 in 5 just, a decade ago, and then it will be 1 in 3 in the next, 15, 20 years, as is being projected. So that brings diversity of opinions and backgrounds that's healthy for a state. And then just a quote here from someone who located their company to Utah, talked about the great universities, the talent, the friendly people, the great outdoor amenities. And so that's our overview. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. And then, if there aren't any questions, I can talk about some of the challenges. But let me just stop there and take any questions.
Hi, Scott. This is Tony Hellman on Zoom. Could you speak to more about the inland port focus changing, why and when? It's kind of an unknown for me, at least.
Yeah, happy to, Tony. So why the change? I think they have a new executive director. That's partly why the change. They saw that it was a really rocky start, given the sort of the battle, or if you will, with Salt Lake City. There was a lawsuit that happened kind of over, land control, I think, and the way that the tax structure for the area was configured. And they've got through that. They have a new executive director, and they just realized that, I think, trying to launch an inland port as it was initially visioned came with a lot more challenges than they anticipated. But they saw that the end goal of the organization ultimately was to generate economic opportunity for the state. And they could better do that through helping kind of to create a network of inland port areas, and to use that tax advantaged program that they have to do that, and to sort of leverage the logistics, infrastructure, rail, interstate system, et cetera, and help to kind of coordinate really a system, or I guess a network of port areas to do it. So, I think I'm not well versed in all the details, but I know that they see it as a way to better serve the mission, and I think they're well on their way to doing that. Hey, any other question? Sure. Let me touch on just quickly what some of the challenges are that we see, and I'll be very transparent around the issues that we are facing and what we're doing at EDC Utah to help contribute to the solutions. But as everyone knows, we have a acute housing affordability crisis, and this is really a supply issue at the end of the day. And we have a great state, and that attracts people and attracts businesses. And with that, you have to have great planning and invest in infrastructure to sort of keep up with that. Obviously, there are macroeconomic factors that we don't control, and everyone is affected by those across the country, across the world, really. But we feel it acutely in the Intermountain West, and especially in Utah. We have a great business environment. We have great outdoor amenities, so people want to live here. They can come from more expensive markets, and it's still relatively more affordable. And that just creates pressure on the housing stock. And so, in our view, that's the #1, I think, crisis for us as a state economically. It's going to hollow out the middle class. if we don't do something about it. And, I think that water is another sort of existential issue, but a little bit of a longer term runway to work with to resolve that one. But housing right now is number one. And so, at EDC Utah, we're focused on sharing information, what we hear from the market, from companies who are looking at doing business in Utah, and benchmarking with other states who are facing different issues. And it's one that, gives employers pause about coming to Utah, creating jobs here. Because obviously they need employees to be able to afford, where they're living. It also makes it challenging for sort of the retail level employees and service industry employees who need to work here, and we need folks who can help keep our economy going, and small businesses on up, and they can't afford to rent even in the county or in the Wasatch Front. So, we try to provide policy perspective on that, and looking at, what are the public financing tools that other states are using or that we could use here to help alleviate, the cost pressure that the builders feel with the high cost of land and borrowing rates and so forth. And so we're seeing, and, really applaud the efforts by the legislature to create these housing promotion zones, these new public financing tools, and would encourage more of that and more investment in infrastructure as well, just generally to help, whether it's transportation, whether it's water resiliency, to help support this hyper growth that we're in. And if we do that, if we invest in infrastructure, we know that's what can help support the growth, and it creates this virtual cycle of stimulating more economic opportunity and being able to put more of that back into services and infrastructure to sustain quality of life. So that's our perspective on it, but thought I would bring that up, just sort of the set of challenges that we're seeing as an economy and as a state.
Really helpful, and one of the things that I'm really struck by is every presenter that we've had in this Know Your Neighborhood series, as a councilman or a mayor or now having you here, there's a lot of focus and concern around the affordability issue. And this really is a major concern that we are facing as a community, and that we will continue to face. And so being a part of the exploration of the response to that, and as real estate professionals, how we support our community through that is really critical. So thank you for speaking to that. Any other questions? Anything that raised? Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. And thanks to Lori for making that connection and making it happen.
Thank you.
For attending here with us. If you'll head into the kitchen and eat the pie pizzeria so that I don't eat all of it, we greatly appreciate it. And have a great week.